Alright, today I'm going to show you how to replace the idle air control valve on your older Subaru. This is a 1993 Legacy sedan. It's an EJ22E, and it should be the same for all other EJ22Es. Your idle air control valve right here on the left side of the intake manifold, and we're going to have to take that off. And to get to that, it's a lot easier if you take your intake off and take this PCV hose off and all the hoses that connect to it and whatnot. Makes the job a lot easier, so we'll do that first. Alright, once you have removed your intake, there are a couple hoses that connect into the whole thing here. You have this one right here, which connects into the intake. You got this one right here, which is a coolant feed. And this one over here, which goes into the throttle body. Right there. You're going to want to take all those off, so removal is nice and easy. Alright, once you have all the hoses disconnected, there are 4 bolts on this. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one's on the other side. And they're 10mm, so it's good to have a socket with a 10mm. And you just take them off and take it off. I was having a little problem getting this hose off, but once I get it off, I'm sure it'll be easier to take off. So alright, once you have the whole thing out, as you can see, this is the old one. Now, one way to tell if it's bad is if you take this off while the engine is warm, that little thing in there should be fully closed. So I did this when the engine was cold, but before I did it when it was warm, and it was halfway open just like that. This is the old one. And this is a new one that I will be putting in nice and clean, brand new. And also with that, I will be putting a new gasket in. It's always good to just put a new gasket in while you have it out. So the installation of it is just the opposite of taking the old one out. You just put it back in, hook everything back up. Alright, now that the new valve is all bolted in, we just got to reconnect all the wires and the hoses, and we should be good. Alright, now that I have all the hoses set up, I just have to put my intake back on and hook up all the hoses to that. Now, it's important that you make sure every hose is in and it's tight, because I was doing this one time and I had forgotten to tighten this one that goes up into the throttle body, and sprayed coolant everywhere. So it's important that you hook them back all up for the intake also, or else you're going to get a funny idle. It's not going to run properly. So alright, once you have everything all connected like it was before, make sure electrical connectors are in for the intake and the idle control valve. Make sure, double check all your vacuum hoses and make sure they are all in. And this hose right here that goes into the valve, make sure that's in good too, because if that's not on right, your car might not even start. Doesn't run without that in. Make sure all your coolant lines are in, and start her up. Alright, I've started her up, and as usual with a cold start, it'll idle high for maybe half a minute, maybe even a minute, and after that it should wind down, and your check engine light should go away if that was a problem, and it should idle better, it should perform better, replacing this sensor. So that's all you're going to need to know. And of course, once you have finished putting in your new idle air control valve, you're going to want to put all your tools away in the right spot so you have them for the next job, and so you don't make your dad angry.